I'm Caitlin Corbett here back on Montana This Morning. We are joined by Senator Steve Daines. Senator Daines, right now you're a stay-at-home senator. Can you tell us a bit about what that is like? It's kind of crazy.
It is. The good news is I'm back home in Montana. I'm here with my wife, Cindy. We've got our 3 dogs, 6 chickens, and I'm doing my work out of my home office here just north of Bozeman. But it's just a strange time, isn't it, for everybody? We're using technology, we're using Zoom to connect like we are here today. Over 51,000 Montanans have lost their jobs in the last couple of weeks. Just a huge number. And so there's all this anxiety and concern, not only about the healthcare emergency, but really this economic crisis.
And that's exactly what it is. A lot of people have questions. Over 1,000 small businesses already have received some form of aid, some form of loan so far. Do you think that's enough for our economy here in Montana? And if not, then what else do you hope to see for those small businesses?
Yeah, I think we're going to need more help and more assistance. But it's been tremendous to see the outpouring of support that we've already experienced with these small businesses across Montana. These small businesses had these gut-wrenching decisions. They literally just shutter their doors, lay off their employees. Tell you a quick story about Tanya in Billings. She has 11 of these coffee huts all over Billings, 50 employees. Well, of course, what happened with COVID-19 just decimated her business. And she was one of the very first Montana businesses to get one of these grants from the Small Business Association. And consequently, what happened is that she's able to keep these employees back on the payroll. Mm-hmm. And her and her husband, they've got a couple of kids. This is the classic small business story in Montana. And working with these local banks who have rushed quickly to help these small businesses. It's a great story, providing help here one by one and getting these employees back on the payroll. There's been some great wins already.
Americans are expecting within the next week or two some form of a stimulus check to kind of boost the economy. How much do you think that's going to help Americans here? And do you think that's going to be enough? Do you expect another round after that?
Yeah, we'll see. The good news is those checks are they're tax-free. Mm-hmm. I've been getting a lot of questions. We've been having these town halls, these telephone town halls, where we're getting tens of thousands of Montanans on the phone at once, literally from every corner of our state. Like, how is this really going to work? Do I have to file a tax return if I'm a senior citizen? The answer is no, you don't. Mm-hmm. It'll be automatically deposited into the same account that your Social Security check comes into as well. So we're answering lots of questions from Montanans who are anxious at this time, wondering what's going to happen next. And we will watch this very, very carefully. And Congress will get back in session if we need an additional stimulus package, which we likely believe will be needed. So what Leader McConnell has told us is that we're on a 24-hour call. In other words, if we get the phone call or the email saying get on a plane and fly back to Washington, D.C., we will, to make sure we're taking care of Montanans and the American people.
And if that second round is needed, what do you hope to see in that?
Well, I think what we will do is we'll take a first look at what worked and what didn't work in this $2.2 trillion package. So whatever did work, well, let's double down on that. If something didn't work, let's change it and make it better for the next round. One thing we do know is working are these small business loans or grants. Mm-hmm. That is getting tremendous support. I think we're going to have to add some more money to that part of the program for sure. And then we'll look at a second stimulus check as well. It really will depend on what happens with where this virus goes next, how long we're going to have our schools closed, businesses shut down. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that, and then Congress will act as needed.
And staying on that same note, obviously, tourism is a big part of our economy, especially here in Southwest Montana, but really throughout the whole entire state. We don't know how long this is going to go, of course, but there is kind of some thought that peak tourism season could be in jeopardy. So what do you hope to see for those seasonal employees, the tourism companies, all of those employees and workers who are kind of facing an uncertain future right now?
And of course, we have a fairly short season here. Our summers aren't real long in Montana. Mm-hmm. And so I think these small business loans and grants are going to be part of that help, as well as we've got some generous provisions for unemployment insurance. This is not what they want. They'd rather be guiding this summer. But if they have to be unemployed, we will have some generous provisions there to help them just make their basic ends meet, get the rent paid, pay the utility bills, and so forth. But I'm hopeful. I'm more optimistic than that. I'm hoping that we will get through this spring, and then by the summertime, we'll be back to some degree of normal. That's what we're hoping for. But I recognize it's a really difficult time, and that's why literally most of my day, Caitlin, is spent on the phone, talking one-on-one or conference calls, getting the latest from our Montana workers and our business to make sure we're getting the help that they need.
All right, well, a good message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Senator Steve Daines and Caitlin Corbett. We'll be right back on Montana This Morning.
Thanks, Caitlin.